I made it clear that I wouldn't let these concessions just be a way to stall. If she wanted me to stay, then these things needed to happen sooner than later. I wanted the threesome to be her priority. I said she needed to have at least someone agreeing by February 1st, or I was out. I don't know how she found her, but in the week between Xmas and New Year's, she showed me a picture of a woman from her spin class. She was gorgeous, and I couldn't believe she found someone that quick and someone so attractive. Tiffany was 24 years old. Her and Chrissy had been chatting at Spin for months, but nothing past regular small talk. I asked how, and Chrissy just said she had her ways. My assumption was she offered her money. About 2 weeks later was the big night. I made it a point to make sure Chrissy was fully involved and didn't feel left out. I mean, I still had my fun, but I knew this would make Chrissy think we were on the right track. I wasn't wrong. She told me how she only did this to try and win me back, but that the whole experience was actually amazing. Prior to that, I had been cashing in on her obligation of being overtly sexual with me. After the threesome, it stopped feeling like she was just meeting an obligation. She seemed excited to be with me and to try new things. Although, I think a part of it was her hope that I would abandon the hall passes. Mid-February, I took the first plunge into using the hall passes. There was a 27-year-old restaurant manager, Sabrina, close by my work. I had frequented it often and always thought she was a little flirty with me. I asked her out. I told her I was 2 months into my divorce proceedings. Not true. I said we were still living in the same house, but that I had moved into the basement. Also not true. Sabrina seemed hesitant, but agreed to the date. Later on, I asked her what made her agree, knowing my situation, and she said she noticed the first time I came in without my wedding ring. I took it off after I caught my wife, and since by the time I asked her my tan line was fading away, it meant I wasn't just taking it off to meet women, but not wearing it at all. During all of this, Chrissy had been pushing that we start marriage counseling. I stayed steadfast that I wasn't interested in doing that until I had used all my passes. By April, I had seen Sabrina 7 times. That really tore Chrissy up, and while today I regret doing this to her, at the time I felt justified. As I began to run out of my passes, I came to realize I was more and more interested in pursuing something official with Sabrina. I decided it was time to stop pretending to reconcile. I also think I had hurt Chrissy enough she was too. I still feel heavy guilt for this today. When I said it didn't work and I still wanted to divorce, she didn't fight me. She was sad, she seemed defeated, but she didn't fight it. I found a small 2-bedroom house and left Chrissy in our family home. When I sat Cora down to tell her we were divorcing, I told her the appropriate amount of truth. I didn't put all the blame on her mother and owned up to my own behaviors during this. I focused on letting her know we both loved her and wanted the best, but we both wronged each other and had to separate. The 3 of us decided that 50-50 custody was best, so she alternated week to week staying at each other's place. It took until October for the divorce to go final. I dated Sabrina the entire time. Cora and her got along fine. I was happy Cora didn't see her as the other woman or anything. They never had a step-parent vibe or anything, but were friendly in the way a child is with their parents' friends. My relationship with Sabrina lasted about 2 years. It ended because I don't want to marry again or have more children. Chrissy had done some sporadic dating over the last couple years. One guy she was with for about 11 months. Then something weird happened this past spring. We have co-parented pretty effectively through all this. The one thing we both wanted was to be there for our daughter. We've been amicable through all of her events and for her sake. When her high school graduation hit, we ended up sitting by each other. What should have been awkward just wasn't. We started joking around, talking, got a little flirty. It was refreshing. A week later, I was still thinking of the fun I had at graduation. I decided to call Chrissy and ask her out. She said absolutely not. This caused quite the swell of embarrassment. Luckily, that was only temporary. After a long pause, she continued, "Unless we start couples counseling." I agreed. We had our first session on a Thursday and our second first date on that Friday. It's been 6 months since that graduation. We are still doing counseling, dating, and have also started exploring the concept of alternative lifestyles. Going to take that slow. Things are going well. Chrissy even brought up the idea of me moving back to our family home. Cora can't believe we are getting back together and says it's weird. She told me when she got back from her first semester at college last week that she wasn't sure if she was happy or concerned. She just knows for sure she doesn't want any details of any kind in regards to any of our exploits. Eric divorced Emily and ran for the hills. He put in a work transfer and now lives 4 states away. Mike and Emily tried to make a real relationship work for about a month after her divorce. Chrissy got back in contact with Emily after hours and learned that pretty much sex was the only thing they had in common, and it fizzled out pretty quick. Emily remarried a guy that used to work with Eric, and the company moved him when he was promoted to a regional manager spot. He is now Eric's direct boss, which I found hilarious. Little did the guy know, though, Eric and Emily started having an affair behind his back. I say did because someone tipped that guy off, probably out of spite, and now he's out for blood from both of them. Motherfucker Mike, as I refer to him, is still around and still single to this day. He got jumped one night after coming out of a local bar by some masked assailant. Rumor has it he was beaten up pretty good and may have gotten kicked in the balls 12 times. I don't know what the future holds from here, but today, I can't complain. I'll be sure to update the masses if it ever gets interesting again. Until then, thanks for reading. P.S. Chrissy paid Tiffany $350 for the threesome.